Okay, your objectives for today. You're going to experience Pear Deck as a student, okay? Because this is your one chance, I would say, really to experience it as a student. Because when you start doing it yourself, you're going to have that teacher view. So this way you can experience that as a student. What we'd like you to be able to do is at the end, create a 1 or 2 slide Pear Deck, so you have to start and download the account so that you have it. It's all set. It is set up district-wide. They have paid the subscription for all teachers this year, and so you'll be able to set that up as the premium edition, which means you can do everything that Pear Deck says that it's able to do. We'll make sure that you have it as an add-on to your Google Slides. You'll create the slide deck. We're asking 1 or 2 slides today, just so you can kind of experience it. And you'll be able to add any type of question that you would like by the end of this, but I'm going to go over and show you the different types of questions so you can experience it as a student. Okay, so really, what is Slide Deck? It's actually a formative assessment tool. I would not suggest that you use it as a summative test. It's not meant to be used that way. It's really designed to give instant feedback from all of your students to be able to see what they're thinking and to check for that understanding. So you can have students log in from any device. So if they want to use their phone, they can use their phone. If they have an iPad, they can use an iPad, because it's just a code that they join on a different device other than their Chromebook. They're going to be prompt to answer questions. You'll be able to see in real time them answering those questions. Also, you can do a projector view, which shows all the student answers, but it's always anonymous on the projector view. On the teacher's dashboard, you will have the students' names when they log in with their email addresses. So it's kind of a nice, safe way of sharing answers that kids have done to make it more meaningful, that it's like it's okay to try to answer a question that they're not sure of. You're going to have to make sure that you explain that it's a safe environment and we learn by our mistakes. So it's really good to kind of show thinking, especially if there's several students that are thinking the same way and you want to do a little bit of a correction at that moment. That's a good opportunity to do it. And it's safe because none of the names in the projector view are shown. Okay. And you have to think of the Pear Deck as interactive slides. So you can do it Instructor Run, which means you're doing it as whole class. You control the whole slide deck, the pacing that the class is going. You also have the option of doing more student pace. Now, this is great when you have them in breakout rooms or asynchronous work. You have a slide deck that is already prepared with Pear Deck, and the questions and student answers are going on that. And then you can just go ahead and have them do them by themselves. But then you can watch the answers. You can actually watch it secretly on another device if you want, if you're working with a small group. So you can see all of the 30 screens on another device. So it's kind of really cool. And it works with Google Classroom. So you can put the link in Google Classroom, or you can actually, we have it set up that it is integrated into Canvas. So you can go ahead and put the slide deck inside Canvas, so they don't even have to leave Canvas, that the slide deck appears on the student screen. So that's kind of cool now that we have that. Okay, so this is the point where I am going to go ahead and add on Pear Deck, because it's asking me to join pd.com. That's where you're going to have to go. So let me go ahead and escape, out of this. So let me show you this screen here. Okay, this is just a regular slide deck. There's nothing different about it other than what you've already have an existing slide deck, and this is what you would pull up, and then you can add questions to an existing slide deck. You don't have to start from scratch from this, or if you want to, you can do that also. So where you go up to is add-ons, and to get add-ons is where we're going to have to go first to get it, but we're going to do that after you experience Pear Deck as a student. So I want you to sit back, just enjoy it as a participant first, and then we'll walk you through to get it. But this is where you would go once it's been installed. It says Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. Open Pear Deck. Because I've decided from now on that these questions that I created are going to be in a lesson. So you go over to Start Lesson. It's a little slow today. Okay. And the first thing that you always get is, do you want it instructor pace or student pace? And you can flip-flop back and forth. You can start as instructor pace, and then if you change your mind, say, oh, I think the kids have this. Let's go ahead and do it student pace. You can do that in the middle of a session. But for this time, I'm going to go ahead because I want control. So I'm going to select the instructor pace. And then this is where it generates a unique code for the class to join. And it's kind of cool how it has the letters, and then underneath it, it has the first letter, like juicy is for J, so they know that the I is an I because it means incentives. So this is the code that they need to select. Now, let's go over here. There's a give students a link. This link here, when I copied the link, is what you would put in Google Classroom. Canvas operates a little bit differently, but that is the link that can go in there. So let me see if I can get that over the chat. Otherwise, very simply on any device, if you type in joinpd.com, so joinpeardeck.com, and then type in the code, that will get you over there. And then you don't even have to have the code. So let me go ahead, let me get the chat up and see if that link now that's in the chat should go directly over. And I'm logging into another machine. And it's going to ask your account. Right now I have it anonymous. I am not collecting email addresses. You can have it set up so that it collects email addresses. But again, if you're in Google Classroom, it does it automatically. So we have 8 students in there. I'm gonna wait for a few more to get in there. Again, let us know if there's any problems getting in. And you can always unmute yourself. Step 13. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start the class. And now the code, you're saying, oh, but wait a minute, I didn't type in the code yet. The code will always be in the upper right-hand corner. So it's JSEECI. So it's up there. So that's always a safety. And if you look at this, you're like, oh, it started the slide deck over. It always starts at slide 1. But again, I can go ahead and I can move it forward. And I'm assuming that your screen is being controlled by me now. So here's the first question. What is filling your bucket today and what is draining it? So you're the student now, I'm the teacher, and I would like you all to fill that out. And you can fill it out. If you're on your iPad, you can actually use your stylus or your finger and you can write something down. Otherwise, you can take a pen, pick any of the colors that are there. There actually is a text box. So if you're like me that doesn't actually do very well with my finger on a touch screen, that you want to use a keyboard text, you can go ahead and fill that in. So go ahead and take a moment and fill that in. Now this should be running on a different tab. Hopefully you still have my Zoom up on one screen, and then the Pear Deck on another tab or another device, because I want you to be able to see my screen also. So it tells me down in the black band at the bottom that I have 17 out of 23 responses. And right now, if you're looking at my Zoom screen, you're going to see that as a teacher, what I'm looking at, I'm not seeing anything at the moment. I get a few more answers in there from people. So if the 6 of you want to continue answering. And if you need help getting in, because it looks like there's 33 participants, but only 23 have logged in, the shortcut to log in is in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to show responses now. So if you look at my screen, the Zoom screen, down on the lower right-hand button, you're going to see where it shows responses. And this is in projector view. So now I'm on, there's different views that you can show. Right now there's an upcoming weekend. That's what's filling someone's bucket. Distance learning is draining it. Okay. Now I'm scrolling down on my mouse. So that was one person. This person didn't do anything. This person didn't do anything. Oh, we got someone that said that families filling up their bucket and decisions I don't agree with draining it. I can understand that. And here is what's filling your bucket. Increase student participation. Love to hear that we've got more of the students participating. And then spending a lot of time on progress reports. Oh, is progress reports coming up? Oh my goodness, I didn't know it was already that time of the year. I love you guys are using the typing tool. My new tech is filling me up. Glitchy glasses, yeah, that happens. Oh, again, family filling you up. Workload draining, yep. Okay, that's one view of this. Now, if you look on my screen, on my Zoom screen, up on the left-hand corner, there is where a grid layout. Look at this. I can see all of the students. Oops, someone just deleted their response. And you can see it in live time. COVID-19 is draining you. Yep, understand. Oh, naughty kids. Yeah, yep. Especially if they're inside your house too. You get it on Zoom and inside the house. That really drains you. And then there's an overlay view, which you have to be very strategic. And when you use the overlay, I think it works really well when you're doing graphing to see how accurate the kids are. But on this one, it's like, not quite, didn't work. And so then you press hide responses. So then it's gone. So I think that's pretty cool what Pear Deck does. So now I'm going to push you, since I have control. Here's one that you can move that blue ball, and how are you feeling today? So this is great to begin with this at the very beginning of the day and have your students fill this out. So take your mouse, grab that blue dot and place it where you are feeling today. Are you feeling happy on the green side, or kind of melancholy in between, or kind of the sad with the thumbs down? 19 responses. And if you look at my Zoom screen, you start to see, it looks like we do have kind of an outlier out here. You've got one person that's in the red, but most of you are kind of towards the green. Love to see that. Now, this is the overlay view, and I like this view for this particular graph. So you can kind of see where they're grouping. Great activity to use for graphing. Okay, let me push you again to the next type of question. What tips can you share for successful remote teaching and learning? This is a text box for you to fill out. So I'd like you to put something in there, even if you just want to kind of run your fingers across the keyboard to put something quick in there, because this is where you can give students feedback, individual feedback. So I want to show you my screen of what it's going to look like. watch where it ramps up how many students. And this is great, being able to see that 16 of your 25 students have answered. It means I need a little more wait time to a few more start answering before we're showing or sharing the answers or discussing. So it really helps with that rather than counting to 10 and not really knowing if the kids are ready to share or not. So I'm going to go to share responses. Now, this is where I can very quickly look at it. Hello world, keep changing, up engaging strategies. Yeah, that's a good one. You've always got to, the kids get bored. Engagement is always going to be a struggle for us. We got to keep changing it. Quick visual student responses, stay positive and happy, be patient. So you guys wrote that down there. But now if I go to the grid layout, oh, it's not letting me on this particular one. You can actually, when you have the students and their names, like if I had you guys go through Canvas or Google Classroom where I actually know who you are, you can respond back to the students and give them immediate feedback on this slide. So in the text, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, let's now experience something else. Here's a straight true false. I'm so glad that January, that should say is over rather than almost over. And this one is a select multiple choice. So it's a little bit different, but similar questions that we've been asking, but a different way of getting responses on there. So if I show responses, this is a way, this is a great one to share with the class. Like if you're trying to vote, if you should have sending out Valentine cards. How does the class feel? Have them vote on it. You'll see that 15 say, yeah, let's do the Valentine cards. 3 are saying no. You have a great idea and everybody can see it's very transparent of your responses. Okay, now this one, do you feel comfortable sharing your thoughts out loud right now? So on your screen, it again is set up to be a multiple choice. But do you see where it says audio included in the middle of it? So that means that I have created an audio so you can read questions to students and leave it for them or give them additional information if you want to, any clarifying. If you look on your screen as a student, in the lower right-hand corner are some headphones. And if you click on the headphone, you should be able to then hear my voice. I can't remember what I recorded. I recorded something on that. But you can add that. You can add that to any type of question, any slide that you want. So if you do need additional clarifying instructions, but you really don't want to put it on the slide, this is a great alternative. Or you can record the slide every single time and have the kids be able to listen to it, especially if you're doing a ELD lesson that you want to be student paced. Add that onto all your slides. That will help your students. And let's go on to this one. I wonder, and this one then is a text. So if you, what are you wondering right now? Let me know something about Pear Deck, what you wonder about Pear Deck. Love the grid view, watching these questions kind of come up. First graders will enjoy this tool. I've seen it done with first graders. You have to have a lot of pictures and less text that the older kids are able to respond with text, but they love the drag and drop tool. That one's easy for them because, you know, they play games and they're kind of used to it. They probably are more comfortable with Pear Deck than we as teachers are because they play all those games. And like myself, I didn't grow up with computers and playing games at all. We did chalk and did, you know, chalk outside, old games, and we built forts in apple trees because I grew up in Wisconsin. Yes, we can push it out through Google Classroom, and it's just that link that Pear Deck provides. You just copy that link and you drop it into Google Classroom, and the kids link directly over. How long does it take to get comfortable with Pear Deck? Once you start playing with it, you'll see that you'll have the confidence. If you just start with one question and give it to the kids and see what happens, that's a great start. Don't try to do a very involved long slide deck. Don't start that way. Start with just one question that you're using in Pear Deck and see how the kids respond. And then when you have more confidence, say, oh, I want to try now a multiple choice. I want to try a true false. I finally want to try a text. So build up to it. So start small and then build up to it. I don't know if you can order food with Pear Deck. It'd be nice if I was in person. I would have bought a bag of my oranges with me because I tried to do the pun on, aren't you glad you know Pear Deck on the fruit? Okay, so now I'm going to hide the questions. Great things that you put on there. Here's actually one that's a little more complicated, and I want to share. I did not create any of these slides. I took them from Pear Deck. They're in a template library, so they're there. I grabbed it, threw it on there. Some of the questions, the prompts, like how are these two things connected? I can change those because it's just a text box once you're in a slide deck, and you can just change it to what you want. But you can get pretty creative, and it's amazing kind of what the student work would be. Someone actually put in some answers here, which normally adults kind of bypass it. So one concept, real-time student work, they are both circles. Yeah, you can put things that are in common. You can do a compare and contrast using this, and it's already done in Pear Deck. You just have to grab this template and then put whatever prompt that you want for the kids. You guys are awesome that you're really doing these. And then I can look at this view as a little bit more understandable at a quick glance, seeing how it goes. So let's go. Now here you can actually, and I don't know if the littles have the ability, if they're not on an iPad, I think you would have to have them on some type of device where they can use their finger to make the letter. But this is where they actually, again, this was all done. This is a template I just grabbed because I thought, well, it kind of shows that, you know, the kids can draw it. You can try to attempt it with your mouse. I can't do it with my mouse. I'm horrible. I need a stylus, and even my stylus doesn't look too good either. But let's kind of look at the responses. And some of you are typing it in, but see how neat, I can tell that you teach the letters. You guys are so nice and neat. Because the junior high teachers, we're not nice and neat like this. And somebody deleted their response. Okay, looks good. So that's able for you guys to do. Okay, this one is one that I definitely would use with littles. I don't know if I would crunch probably all those icons together, but having them to circle, or you can have them do an X or scribble on top of the items. So the you know, kindergartner can do this. So this would be something, so circle or scratch out whatever the items that start with the B. So the b sound. And again, if we go to show responses, then you can see if the kids are getting it or if someone doesn't understand. I guess the argument could be, someone could say the ladybug or that bug or beetle could be an insect, and that would be I instead of a B. Oh, someone used red to kind of color in all the B's. So at a glance, you're able to see those answers. I think that one's kind of cool, especially with littles. Okay, since I'm a previous math teacher, I like this. It's like, now it's up to you. Color some yellow and color some pink. So this is your choice of how many you want. But then you've got to tell me how many you colored yellow, how many that you colored pink, and then I want you to count them all up. And again, I love watching this live to see. Someone's using red instead of pink. Oh, someone's pulling up. I see some purple. Now, if you have some kids that are kind of colorblind, I don't know if it would matter the colors as long as they're using two different colors. And again, if you got a theme going, you can use colors for the week or the school site colors. You can use that. Oh, someone is very neat. I love the 6 + 4 = 10. So there's 6 yellow, 4 pink, and 10 in all. You got your numbers correct. Oh, I love some left it uncolored. I love to see that. Someone put 3 yellow and then 5 of the pink. So they only colored in 8 in total rather than doing all 10. That's good. I like that, being creative. Okay, great job. And here's one that you can color that contain the letter A, making sure that all the kids recognize the A. So again, this one's all pre-built and you guys are just going for it, even though I was thinking you don't have to answer this question. Somebody realized that they did like a good circle and then they copied and pasted it, I believe, at another site. And so they were like perfect circles. I thought that was really cool. So that's something maybe you can teach the kids. That way then they don't have to sit there and scribble in all of that. Good job. Therapeutic when you're coloring. This is one that's already colored in, and you're just asking the kids how many yellow and how many pink and then how many in all. And they would answer that one. So a little bit different. Okay, I love this one. This is my favorite one. And again, this was already pre-done. But I changed the prompt because they were studying some state or something like that. And I want to know, though, drag the flag to where you're from. So I want to see where we're all from. And the flag is up on the, well, mine on my one screen is up on the right-hand corner. I'm not sure if it's in the same place on your screen. And let's see who is the furthest east or the furthest west. And I'm going to show responses so we can start seeing. Oh, wow. Somebody is from, is that New Jersey? It looks like North Carolina or Virginia. I'm not sure. It's like right in the line. I'm from Wisconsin, so I put that one on there. New Jersey, Oklahoma. Okay, looks like we got a lot in California. And I believe in 5th grade, you guys do study states. So you may be able to use this template to show on the states. Let's see what it looks individually. If I can see, okay, that slide is really hard. I think I would have to probably go through individually to see where everyone is at, because it gets a little bit harder. Even though the layout isn't too bad, it looks like someone's from Nevada, looks like. A lot from California. So now we know where we're all from. Okay, this one is pre-done. It's probably for older kids to do, to be able to kind of type in the problem, or you actually have maybe pictures available for them to go ahead and put into these areas. So it's something to kind of think about using. Again, this template is available in the library. You can use, this is available for graphing. So you can have the kids take their marker, their pencil, and count up like how many acorns, which I don't think we grow acorns here, but this is the East Coast, I guess. If you were there, you would use the acorns, and they could go outside and count those, and the leaves that are red and green leaves. So you can use it to tally that up, which is really easy to do. And then here is where it's a numeric response. So this is good for the math. How many years have you been teaching? I want to show this screen, so please answer this question. And it's kind of moving as all the numbers are coming in there. Let me see if I can get it a little bit. Oops, maybe we should go down and see who's the highest. We've got 30 is the longest that teacher's been teaching at your site. We did have at one site, had somebody, it's like 40 years, wasn't it like 40 years? That was incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome teacher too. So we've got what I love about this, again, being a previous math teacher, I guess I'm still a math teacher, is if this looks kind of familiar to some of you 5th and 6th grade teachers when you used to teach the box and whisker. So you can kind of see you've got some outliers, you got some newer teachers and some more veteran teachers, and then kind of looking where it's falling, it kind of maps it out that this area around that 17 years are the majority probably are falling in that area. But it mapped it out for you. I mean, how cool. As a teacher, I didn't have to draw that thing. All I had to do was find this in the library, bring it on over, and have the kids answer a question, and look, voila, it created the graph for us. So that one's a cool one. Had to show you that one. Okay, now we're to the point that I am going to, I think, stop sharing because I've got to get over. Okay, we're to the point where we are going to be ready now to add on Pear Deck. So if you haven't done it, I'm going to walk you through how you need to do that. And then, but if you already have it labeled on, that's fine. Just kind of hold there until we get everybody going. And then I'm going to kind of release you into different types of breakout rooms because of your comfort level. And then those that need additional help in the main room, we'll make sure that we'll get you hooked up to make sure that you have the add-on available. So let me go back to sharing my screen here. And okay, I want to get back to here. So you need to, first of all, make sure that you open up a slide deck. You can do it, a new slide deck or one that you would like to use. So let me put these directions. But you need to go over to the Chrome store and install it. So the easiest way is to select your add-ons out of the menu. Go down to Get Add-ons. So you go to Get Add-ons. And a lot of times it's somewhere up at the top, look for Pear Deck. Otherwise, in the search bar at the very top, you can type in the word Pear Deck and it comes up there. And go ahead then and select Pear Deck. It's already installed in mine, so I'm not going to reinstall it, but go ahead and select that. It probably wants permission to do what it needs to do, so give it permission. And then you'll need to refresh your slide deck, and then it should be installed where it appears as Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to do that. And let us know in the chat if you are having some problems, and we'll just have you hang on that you're good to start kind of building. And I can go over the next slide, which is more the instructions.
Jill, I'm going to see if our distance learning account has Pear Deck. It doesn't.
Perfect. Let's have share.
Okay.
Shannon's going to share her screen, so I will stop. So she'll go through it again in live. This is great that we have one to show you.
Okay. So I'm in a slide deck from a different account. So this account does not have Pear Deck as an add-on. So again, any slide deck, open up and then go across your menu and find add-ons. When you click that, got a lot of add-ons in here, but I don't have Pear Deck. So I'm going to go to Get Add-ons. And again, you can search it, Pear Deck, 2 words. It's really popular. You can see, look, there's 10 million plus people that use this right now. So locate Pear Deck and open it up. then you'll see that blue bar that says install at the top. I'm going to go ahead and click it. Now it's giving me a notification, so you want to continue. And then it's going to take you through that familiar process of selecting your Google account and agreeing to the terms. So you need to click allow. And then done. Now I'm going to go back to my slides and, oh, wrong one. I don't think it's going to be there.
No, it
because
did. It appeared.
you need to refresh. Oh, I didn't even need to refresh.
Perfect.
Yeah, so sometimes you have to refresh for these to take effect, but it didn't. So there it is. Now I have my Pear Deck. If you don't see it, just refresh your page up here, your Google slide, and then it'll show up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can walk you through pieces of the Pear Deck. Okay, so hopefully now the add-ons for every single slide that you open up from now on, you have the ability to make it a Pear Deck. You just need to turn it on. And once you say open Pear Deck add-on, then you're going to have the bar on the right-hand side appear. And this is that template library that I was saying is your friend. So I'll give you in a few minutes just to go through that, start looking. Beginning of a lesson, there's during lessons, there's end of lessons, there's critical thinking, there's some SEL. A lot of that is how do you feel today? There's example questions by subject area. So here's some that are specific for the littles. I pulled a lot from there. And they also have social studies and ELA, science and math. So they have those already pre-done that you just change the prompt on them. Otherwise, you can go ahead and ask a question from scratch. Again, if it's from scratch, you need to create the question. It just gives you the format of the type of question, but you need to though do the work of asking the question, creating the choices on the screen for when you do it yourself. The adding the audio is here, and you would just click on the add audio to slide. And it's actually a recorder, and you just hit record, and it records whatever message that you want. So it's pretty simple. You've got to upload it, and then you place it on the slide. So there's some other content down here and how Pear Deck works. You can always go back to that. One thing I do want to mention, if you're really into a lot of movement on your screen, which means you use a lot of the video and the animation and the GIFs or GIFs, however you want to pronounce it, since both ways you're able to. It's called Pear Deck Power Up, which is another add-on. They really suggest that you use it because it'll stop that glitchiness that sometimes appears when things are being animated. So if you do use a lot of that, then I would suggest go ahead and add that in there. What I did today was I just started the lesson for you, and that's what caused that whole join this with that code, class code. I also want to share with you the 3 hamburgers. This is where you can actually publish and share your lesson if you'd like to. Requiring student logins. You can turn that on or off depending on how you want to operate. And then the other thing is review sessions. I have done quite a few sessions on here. If you see different dates, some are named, some aren't named. A closed session means that I have closed it. The students do not have access to it anymore. They can't get to it. A live session means that it is live. I have not closed it. So students can get to it and continue working on it if so that they would like to. It identifies in the status if it's a student-paced one, live or closed session. So it gives you that information on it. The file name right here is, I've been using, usually this particular slide, but I've used some other ones. I will tell you the one that says type LMS, that's the one that I put into Canvas. So I knew that it was in Canvas. And then over here, you have where it looks like a projector. That's where the live sessions are where you can project the answers if you would like. This icon is actually the teacher dashboard that is only for you. And this is not the one that you want to project, but you can go into every single student. And in this view, I can give feedback to students that I want. And this first one right here, the little, what do you call it, caption bar. And you can go ahead and respond, you know, I like your answer. And you can send the feedback to the kids. So you can go and then they can respond back. They can go back and forth. You have the three little things. You can hide responses if you want. My real name is here right now because I'm in my teacher dashboard. So the names show up. When you're in the projector, they do not show up. They're all anonymous. So I wanted to make sure that you know that. Okay, so that's kind of the teacher dashboard. And again, you kind of have to play with it and it's okay. So I would suggest that you either open up a slide deck, an existing slide deck where you want to add a slide that's asking a question, or you can create it from a new slide if you want. Make sure that you have it as an add-on. Make sure that you have this bar on the right-hand side available for you so that then you can start grabbing a question from the library, or you can start a new question that you're going to create. Also down here on this particular slide, the blue slide, the YouTube playlist is a whole list of videos, and they're from Pear Deck of how to do videos. So it's a great reference to come back to if you want to know how to do something. So now's the time that I'm kind of going to have you play a little bit, get a little bit comfortable with it. And let me go ahead and stop the sharing of my screen because you all have access to this. And we can go ahead. Shannon, do you think this is a good time to do a breakout room for those that are advanced that want to go together and just kind of be in the same room with someone else? And those of you that want help to make sure that you're setting it up, I'll stay definitely in the main room to help you out.
You want to?
Okay, I just want to share one other little, the slide that we don't have time to get into it, but if you want to contact me or any of the TOSAs on slide 26 is to integrate it with Canvas. We actually have Pear Deck now listed as an LTI on it, but it's a little sophisticated on how to get it going. And once you get it going, it's like, oh, okay, I can do this. But there is a help resource from Pear Deck of how the integration goes. So if you feel pretty Canvas savvy and want to try it on your own, that's fine. Otherwise, reach out to myself or any of the other TOSAs, and we'll walk you through getting that there for you. And then the last thing I just want to leave for you, because I know some of you feel worn down, but remember, a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. And so we're lighting the way for our students during these trying times. I just want to leave that with you. And